Hello and welcome to another insightful episode of the Startup OG podcast. I am Nikunj Thakkar, your host, and we have rebranded Entrepreneurs Cafe to the Startup OG podcast. In today's episode, we have Utsav Patel with us. Utsav is founder of supergrow.ai, a tool that helps you grow your LinkedIn brand. In today's episode, we are going to do a deep dive on LinkedIn growth strategies, how to build a SaaS with a very small team, and how to grow your business with a lot of growth hacks. Welcome to the show, Utsav.
Thanks, Nikunj, for having me. Excited to be here.
So, Utsav, let's start with your journey. I think you're from Ahmedabad, you studied from Gujarat Technological University, and you're a dropout from that. So, tell us about that. Like, why did you drop out from the education, and then how did your initial journey begin?
I did start a diploma after my 10th. Fortunately, I picked computer engineering because I liked playing with computers. But due to financial conditions and all, I didn't able to complete my education. Hence, I dropped out and supported my family. So that was the major reason to drop out and get started with this corporate world. Story short, in 2017, I get into the SaaS world. I started my first SaaS job in a company called Sales Handy, where I started as a customer support executive and then slowly and gradually moved towards product management role, where I learned a lot of things about building SaaS, what all goes into building SaaS, how to understand customers, right? And everything around SaaS. Yeah, that was my initial days of getting into SaaS, and then worked there for almost 5-7 years, and then moved to another company called Outplay, where I was part of growth team as a product manager. So I was taking care of acquisition, activation, retention, all those product-led growth metrics. And then indie hacking was something that was in my mind when I heard for the first time. So when I got this opportunity, when I left Outplay, I got this opportunity to take a leap and start something on my own. So I didn't missed that opportunity and started Supergrow.
So, was like typically like when I see a lot of people who like did not complete the study, they initially find very difficult to land their first job, right? So, how did you like land your first job? Who gave you the first opportunity?
Oh yeah, it was difficult. I won't say it's an easy path because back then in 2017, everyone was asking for a college degree. So it was of course difficult path and journey. Okay, so as far as I remember, I started in a call center job because that was the only profession where they weren't asking for a degree. So I said, hey, I don't have a degree. They said, okay, come on board. We'll have you as a customer support representative. You just have to answer the queries, copy and paste. That's it. That was the first footfall that I did into a corporate world. And then I learned about this SaaS and IT companies when I was working as a BPO guy. So I got to know about a company called Sales Handy. So I pinged their founder Drew on LinkedIn and said, hey, I wanted to work. I'm new to this field. I don't know anything. If there is an opportunity for me, I'd love to work. I don't need any money right now. I'm happy to learn. So that's how I got my first job. On the same day, I go to their office and we met, had a long and lengthy discussion, but finally, yeah, it worked out and I started.
There you started as a customer support executive and then moved your way up to a product manager. Right
Yeah.
now, like nowadays, switching to product role is very trendy. Like every other person that I talk to, because I'm a product manager, a lot of people come to me that, okay, can you advise us? Like, how do I get into product management? So,
Yep.
how did that transition happen for you?
So before product management, I was into customer success role. So while working in a customer success role, my major role was to get customers feedback and then share it with our development team. While doing this, I got to learn about a function called product management. Right. So then I learned from founder that this is something a product manager does. They understand customers' requirement and then they translate those requirements into good user stories or whatever we call product roadmap, PRDs, etc. Right. That's when I learned about product management. And when I talk about transition, so while working into customer success role, one thing I loved the most was solving users' problems. So whenever they raise a request, they face any issues, right? I sit on top of my developers and then I try to resolve it as soon as possible. If it's a feature request, I'll sit with my product manager or a project manager and I'll try to come up with a solution, how to solve the problem that they are facing, or probably a feature that we are trying to build in order to solve the problem. So while doing all of this, my founder said, hey, why not you try and work in a product management space, talk to customer, you know the business needs because you are one of the early employee. You know now how to work with developers. So this is what in general a product manager does: understand requirements, understand business needs, and then work with the dev and design team. So that's how I got into this. So in short, if I have to say, it's all about customer empathy and a business understanding.
You so, like described in very short, but then that intuition or like the understanding of that is very difficult to come. I've worked with like a lot of product managers, right? And a lot of them come into this field because like they feel it is like trendy, there's nothing to do like that way. But like when you come into it, like you realize that okay, there are 50 stakeholders, you have to like figure
Oh
out
yeah.
issues, work with them. If you're part of a large team, then there are a lot of other things that you have to tackle and then like done, right? So, and a lot of people describe as a like product manager, CEO without any powers, right? So you don't have any power, but you are the CEO, so you have to drive things. So yeah, great. I think a natural extension of what you were doing, and then you were able to transition to product manager role. So I think after this, you worked at Outplay for a short period, and then you started something called Twitlify. So tell us about that. What was that product about, and why like you did not pursue that further?
Yeah, so Tweetlify was for Twitter creators. Tweetlify was basically helping Twitter creators to grow their audience on Twitter. It's super grow for Twitter. The motivation to start Tweetlify was when I saw all these indie hackers, right? They were bullish or they're very active on Twitter. I think their only motive is the audience that they have, right? They have their distribution sorted. They tweet every day. They engage. So Twitter is primarily their major source of acquisition. But when I tried to build my audience on Twitter, whenever I try to write a tweet, I wasn't able to write it right. I faced writer's block every fucking time. So that was really difficult for me to write tweet, to manage entire Twitter, to come up with tweet ideas, engagement, analytics, all of those. So that's how the idea was born of Tweetlify. We built the product with the help of my friend, and then we reached 1 or 2K MRR. And that's when Elon Musk decided to take up Twitter. He suddenly, from $0 to $42,000 a month, he raised the prices of API. So obviously, we had to shut it down because of this change. Yeah, so that was the story of Tweetlify. And then we met on with Devin, and yeah, that's something we can cover later on.
So basically, Elon Musk killed your startup.
Elon Musk killed yours. Yeah, killed my startup. Absolutely.
I think later on, then you switched the platform and started focusing on LinkedIn. So tell us like why LinkedIn as a platform to build on top of, and then how did the super growth journey started?
Yeah, so I'll continue my Tweetlify journey. So once that happens, there is a community for Twitter makers, all the builders who are building on top of Twitter. So there was this Slack community. So when this happened, everyone was panicked because a lot of founders had to shut down their products. So we're just discussing on those communities what are the other options, what else we could do, whether we go for an acquisition or like there are a lot of discussions going around. And that's when I found Devin. If I remember correctly, Devin was the only person, like Devin and I were the only Indian makers who were in the community. So I immediately pinged Devin on Slack, and then we jumped on a call. We discussed a lot of things on what to do because Devin was also building something on top of Twitter. He was building cold DM tool for Twitter makers, right? So he also faced the same issue. So same villain, same problem, and that's how we connected. And then we started discussing. And while discussing a lot of pains, we realized that we both had a complementary skills. I don't know how to write code, and Devin does it really well. He knows how to build good products. He's good with tech and product, right? So, and I'm good with marketing and sales. We saw this as an opportunity, and then we tried to identify something small that we could pick up and see if we can build it together. So that's how Supergrow was actually born. We both came from a creator's economy. At the same time, we were both struggling to write content. We explored other social media channels like Instagram, TikTok, and other, but like that wasn't cup of tea because we as a user aren't friendly to create videos on Instagram and YouTube, right? So that wasn't a choice for us. So then LinkedIn, we researched about LinkedIn. We saw there's a huge opportunity here, because we, along with other users, were facing writer's block. They want to publish on LinkedIn, but they don't know what to publish. That was the major motivation for us to start Supergrow. And then, yeah, rest you see, we then started building out MVPs, talking to our users. So yeah, that's how we get started.
So, in a layman term, if you were to explain what Supergrow does, how would you explain?
Supergrow helps professionals to build their personal brand on LinkedIn.
When, let's say, I as a user start using the platform, how would the journey would be like?
So there are three pillars when it comes to personal branding. First is you need to create content. Second is you need to engage with your audience. And third is you measure your efforts. We help in all three areas. First, we help you remove your writer's block. We give you ideas on what to post, right? We also help you craft post that works well for LinkedIn. We give you few templates to give you ideas on the post, right? We also help you repurpose your post. Let's say you as a creator, you have this podcast, right? If you put a link, a YouTube video link to Supergrow will help you create a LinkedIn post out of it. Right? So we help in creating fresh content plus repurposing your existing content. So that is on the content side. And on the engagement side, we help you create curated feed to engage with people. We help you get every creators in a single feed, right? So you can engage directly from Supergood. You need to get lost on LinkedIn. So and then lastly, we help you measure your efforts. We help you understand what type of content is working for you, what type of post get you more followers or more engagement, right? So that's how the complete suite is where Supergo comes.
So, tell us the story of your first customer. Like, who was the first customer? How did you acquire them?
Our first customers were from our friends and network. So when we started Supergrow, we both posted an announcement on LinkedIn. So fortunately, there are a lot of users that post somehow went semi-viral, I would say, and we got a lot of attraction from there. So many users have signed up, and most of them were our connections, either our past colleagues or friends, right? So they tried their product, our product, and then we get on a call. We talked with almost all, if I say, who signed up on our first LinkedIn conversation. That's when we realized we have built nothing. There are a lot of things to do in order to get our first customer. Then we again went back and started making some changes, right? So then once we get those changes done, we sent out an email to all those registered users. And then out of those emails, someone subscribed to our paid plan.
From this initial journey, right now, like you have like hundreds of users doing solid revenues. What was the sales and marketing techniques that you have applied?
So initial days, there are 3 or 4 major channels that have been working for us. First is influencer market. Second is inbound, where we can consider SEO plus word of mouth. Third is our affiliate marketing. So these three are our major channels when it comes to user acquisition. And for the initial set of days, influencer marketing had worked really well. We talked to few creators or influencers in LinkedIn personal branding space. Initially, it was purely organic, right? So they were signing up to our platform and then they're loving the platform. And then organically they were sharing it with their audiences, right? So that's how it got started. And then we picked on this channel because it worked really well for us in the initial days. We saw the numbers. So the influencer marketing is something we really banked on. And that has been like so far our major source of acquisition.
So when you say influencer marketing, like do you reach out to people to like specifically promote the tool?
Yeah, that's what we do. So we source influencers, probably I would say creators. Not everyone is influencer, but yeah, we source creators, then we negotiate a deal with them, then we close them for a longer period of time, and then based on our partnership terms, we either pay them or we do a barter system. It really depends on creator to creator. There is no sort of SOP so far that has worked really well, but yeah, then we kind of start our engagement. So they promote it to their LinkedIn audience, to their newsletters. If they have a YouTube channel, they do there also.
So in my experience, like LinkedIn is not a very friendly when it comes to people building top of their platform, right? So I've seen in the past, like a lot of people have faced issues where like if you build a tool, and if I remember correctly, I was reading one blog post where LinkedIn specifically tracks that the number of plugins that you have installed. So if they identify that there are plugins which are like doing scraping or something like that, then they ban those plugins to be used. on the platform. So have you faced any challenges while building on top of LinkedIn?
Fortunately, no. While facing platform issues in past, right, with Twitter and Elon Musk, now we are taking care of each and everything. So whatever LinkedIn allows officially, that's what we'll do. We won't go outside of their terms. Yeah, in last 2 years, we haven't faced any issue so far. We don't do automation. We don't collect cookies from our users, right? So that's why we are not even able to push some features because of this. But yeah, we are happy to stay safe and we can commit 100% to our users that, hey, if you are using Supergo, you are super safe.
I'm switching gears and now we'll focus on LinkedIn for personal branding. So why is it important to build a brand on LinkedIn?
Again, depends. If you are founder of a startup, it really helps in a lot of areas. So it can help you generate leads, it can help you attract clients, or if you are raising funds, right, then investors can also get attracted. If you are building a brand, they'll see what you do, how you do. So for founders, that's how it helps. For students, probably to get their dream job, their probably next job, not if not dream. And then for services business, again, to get leads from LinkedIn.
Let's say I want to build a personal brand on LinkedIn, and you are my mentor. You are the best person to know about building a brand on LinkedIn. How would you suggest that I should start my journey?
First, decide the goal, what you are trying to achieve when it comes to LinkedIn. If your goal is to just build your brand and you don't want to generate leads immediately, right? What you can do, you can then, based on your goal, you can create your content strategy. So let's say if you're just building your brand, you pick your audience, which type of audience you want to attract, right? So define those audience criteria. In product management, we say targeted audience or ideal customer profile. Same applies to personal branding as well. So pick your ICP and then identify problems that your ICP faces right now. In our case, our ICP is someone who is creating content on LinkedIn. So we try to identify their problems. They face writer's block. They do not have ideas to post, right? They do not know how to format the LinkedIn post. So I'll suggest writing down all the problems and then try to solve the problems with your content. This way you'll build authority. People will read your post and they'll think, hey, Nikunj know something about this topic. If you post and answer these questions, right, they'll then follow you. Once they read, they'll think, hey, this is something Nikunj knows. Second time when you answer their question, solve their problem, they'll follow you and then they'll engage with you. So that's how it goes in a brief, and then you can engage with your ICPs on a regular basis. I say in start, pick 10 to 20 people in your ICP and start engaging with them. Write thoughtful comments in their post. So yeah, that's how I do in a brief. But yeah, that's a lot more.
What is something that most people don't know about LinkedIn, like how the algorithm works?
They underestimate the power of first connections. This mistake I also did. So here is how the algorithm works as far as I know. And based on my last 2 years of experience, when you post something on LinkedIn, your LinkedIn will populate your post to your first connections. If they see value, if they engage with your post, LinkedIn will get a good signal that, hey, this post and the content is valuable because their first connection is engaging with the post. If that is happening, LinkedIn will try to populate it to further connections, second and third. And that's how your post will go to larger audiences. But let's say if you are posting a content which is either not valuable or probably not for the right audience, in that case, your first connections won't engage with your post, and hence your post won't get the reach. Yeah, in a summary, try to pick first connection very choosily, right? You can't go and accept each and everyone, because that's the something. This is the mistake I did when I was at sales ND. I also did hiring, so I was going and sending connection requests to each and every developers. But then when I started this journey, I started posting on LinkedIn. I was getting so less reach. But then I removed all my connections, like most of them. And then I started from, like, I picked very choosily who to be in my connection list. But yeah, that's very underrated thing, I would say.
So to summarize, like keep your profile very clean. Only connect with the meaningful people who are likely to engage with you, and not add everyone. So that would
Exactly.
probably give you a boost to, like, when you post, these people will engage, and eventually you will be able to reach out to more people. So I think you have been also posting a lot of content consistently on LinkedIn. So how did that start? Like, how do you decide which kind of content to post, and then what is the outcome of it? Like, for you, is it like sole purpose to redirect people to Supergrow, or is there any other behind it?
So for content, I have simplified a lot and I'm still learning, to be honest. If I have to say my current content strategy, it's like very simple. I have categorized my content into two categories. One is human focused content, where I publish my build in public stories, my personal stories, everything related to me as a human. And my second content pillar is industry focused content, right? Where everything around LinkedIn content creation, LinkedIn personal branding, LinkedIn growth, everything that goes into non-human side of content. So these two are my major content pillars. So every week I probably experiment. Let's say if I for last couple of weeks I have been posting 3 posts for industry focused and 2 posts for human focused content. Right. So that's how I mix and match and see how it goes. But yeah, my content pillars are around this. And when it comes to the motivation or the results that we are getting from LinkedIn is a lot more. So first we get leads from our profiles. We have that visit my website, and with our content we try to focus more on our features, how it helps the users. That's how we get leads or get signups to our products. Second is we build trust among our users. All of our users are on LinkedIn, right? So, and we try to connect to our customers on LinkedIn so that whenever we post something, they see us on LinkedIn and they'll feel that, hey, there is someone behind on Supergrow. Being a small team, you need to build trust, right? So that's why we build in public. We share each and everything we are doing here on Supergrow. So by posting content, we build trust. Yeah, obviously, I make really good friends on LinkedIn. So now I have I never met all of them, but yeah, I have met really good friends when I started posting on LinkedIn. So yeah, I think those are the three major goals when it comes to posting on LinkedIn.
And we are able to do this podcast just because of LinkedIn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think we have a lot of common connection, but when I was in Ahmedabad, I was very active, but probably we never met during that time. But I see that,
Uh,
I think we have a lot of common connection just because of the founders community in Ahmedabad. Being in SaaS, product management also adds to a lot of those common connections. Tell us some interesting stories about this journey so far, like in Supergrow. I am sure like you must have come across some weird users, weird customers. So what is something that stands out?
I vividly remember one story of our first yearly customer. I think he reached out to our support chat, if I remember correctly. It was late in the night, around 10 p.m. here. So customer was from US, obviously. So he was in a day, and I was about to sleep. I was chatting through my mobile, and he said, I need a demo. I was almost to sleep and I replied through my mobile, and I thought that I won't need to open my laptop again and that's it. Here it ends. But then he replied and said, hey, I need a demo. Yeah, I immediately picked up my laptop. I gave him a demo. And then on call, he purchased the first yearly subscription, right? So it was a magical moment for it. The whole night, I was not able to sleep. So that was the moment that I remember. But yeah, then there are a lot of moments. I don't recall it now on top of my mind, but yeah.
So when did you realize that okay, this product has now fit, like hit the product market fit?
I really don't know when someone should say that we hit the product market fit, right? So in our case, we wanted to be, so our major goal when it comes to building Supergrow was to have a freedom and have peace of mind. So we were thinking if we reach 5,000 in MRR, I think we are done. We will think that we are able to achieve what we want. In our definition, if I have to say, when we reached 5K in MRR, I think we achieved our product market fit, and I think that's what we thought when we started Supergrow, because we wanted to be lean. We don't want to raise funds and then go big, have a lot of team members. We don't want to build 100 million company, right? We want to stay lean, grow slow. We do not have any hurry. I think that answers your question.
Usually, when founders build company, they start with a very big dream that okay, we want to change the world, we want to solve these kind of hard problems. and then you want to create a large company. So why, in your case, like, do you think being small, lean is helpful?
There are two main objectives. We want freedom first, right? We don't want to have our calendars blocked each and every time. So that was our first goal. Second is we want to have a peace of mind. So I think that the question that you asked is something related to the second goal that we have. We want to have a peace of mind, because when you want to grow at any cost, right, you need to have a lot of things in your mind. There are a lot of things going on. So as a founder, then you won't have that peace of mind. Yeah, obviously that's the major agenda or major goal why we don't want to go big or go home.
And has that number changed now? Like, the initial number was 5,000 MRR. So what is that number now?
Yeah, it changed a lot. It's now 15K in MRR. Yeah.
Apart from this, I think personally also you've been sharing a lot of journeys about your fitness, and
Oh,
then personal stories in building public. So how did that start? What inspired you to put it out in public?
as I said, right, being a small team, all you have to do is gain trust from your users. That was the initial idea why we wanted to build in public. Because if we share, we will be able to connect more with our users or probably with a larger audience, right? So that was the major goal when we started doing build in public. And secondly, we both were, I'm not sure about Devin, but I personally was bored while working alone or with like a two people team, right? So I thought, let's go and share about what we do, how we do. So that's how we got connected to a lot of interesting people who were building in public. They were sharing their wins, loses, and everything. That was the second reason I would say to build in public.
So if you were to start Supergrow today, what would you do differently?
I think everything worked really well.
There must be something that, like, you thought that, okay, we could have done this better, we could have done this faster, quicker, something like that.
I never thought about this actually. Nothing comes top of my mind right
Let
now.
me ask you a different question then. So let's say Supergrow doesn't exist and you're starting your journey today. What would you build?
Oh, what I would build, I would obviously build something on creator space, because I've seen that space growing rapidly, and I know the space will grow for at least a decade now. Everyone is bullish on creators. I'll build something on creator. After creator economy, I'll probably pick. I think, yeah, that comes down to creators only. I was trying to think, because when I work in influencer marketing space, right, I see a lot of problems there. So if I have to build something next, I'll probably try to solve those problems.
So what are the insights? Like, what is happening in creator economy? Like, what kind of signals are you getting? What is interesting about this field?
Yeah, see, now everyone wants to be a creator, either on LinkedIn or on YouTube or Instagram. This is where I feel there is an opportunity. Everyone needs to build their audience. The opportunity that I see here is awareness. Some people don't know how to start, where to start. Probably they do not have enough funds to get those equipments that they need. They do not have education on what type of content to post, how to shoot a video, right? So those are some entry level problems. And then once a creator grows, then there are again different set of challenges: how to deal with brands, how to negotiate. This is something I have been doing right now as a brand. I collaborating with a lot of influencers, and I'm seeing a lot of mistakes that they do when it comes to discussing a partnership term with a brand, right? So again, there is a problem. So I try to see where we find a problem. But yeah, there are a lot of insightful things that are happening on the creator space.
Who are your favorite creators on LinkedIn?
Oh, on LinkedIn, first is Luke Matthews. I love reading his content. Second, I would say Adam Robinson. He posts really good insights on building his business.
RB2B, right?
RB2B, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm learning a lot from him on how to actually build in public. The one that we are doing is not so near to him, right? So I'm learning how to build a business in public. And then from Luke, I'm learning how to write good content, how to use different tools and get the content out. So yeah, those two creators I would say. And then there are a lot of other creators.
So apart from work, like, so I'm sure being a very small team, Supergrow must be keeping you busy all the time. But let's say if you're not working on Supergrow, what are you doing?
Apart from Supergrow, you will either find me working out, right? So I do I lift weights probably 5 or 6 times a week. On free time, I'll probably playing cricket because I love to play cricket a lot. So on weekends, I try and go to play cricket with my friends. Apart from this, yeah, I love to read books as well. I spend at least an hour or so to read book.
Which is your favorite?
This is difficult. I love hard things about hard things. What was it? Yeah, and Andre Horowitz. So that was really good. And for personal side of things, I love Atomic Habits. It
So
has helped a lot.
if you were to recommend three books to any founders who are just starting their journey, what books would you recommend?
Okay, first the mom test. Second is it is on positioning and messaging. I don't recall the book's name. Yeah, it's obviously awesome.
That's fine. You can recommend any like personal growth books as well, right? So that also helps founders.
Yeah, but I like the book called The Shoe Dog. That was a really interesting read. But yeah,
Nike's
like
founders.
his story. I love the grind that he does.
So, what is the future of Supergrow? Like, how do you move forward from here?
Nothing as usual, like every company does. We will understand users' problem. We'll try to solve them and then grow from there. On the marketing front, we are trying to explore other marketing channels. So our influencer marketing is working good, at least for now. So now we are trying to experiment with SEO. Plus, we are also doubling down on our personal LinkedIn accounts and see if we can get more leads out of it. Those are different channels we are trying to experiment and see if that works out.
So, if let's say any founder wants to tap into the influencer marketing channel, how should they go about it?
Yeah, so first step is know your market or your niche, right? So in our case, it's personal branding on LinkedIn. Then the next step is to discover creators who all are speaking about your niche, who have an influence on the readers, right? So second step is to discover the creators, and then obviously third is to negotiate with them and then start the engagement. If you're a B2B brand, you most probably find the creators on LinkedIn. You just need to have a good search ability.
And are you like using any tools to manage this process, or is it manual?
No, it's pure manual. This is a startup idea.
Okay. So, how do you measure the outcome? So, let's say because like it is easy to fake follower numbers and things like that.
Yeah.
So how do you measure that? Okay, if I reach out to this influencer and if I work with him, he will be able to drive the results.
First, I would check their engagement, because when you have a fake followers, your engagement, your likes on the post will tell about it. Now, apart from fake followers, there are also engagement for engagement followers, right? Who will just say thanks for this post, nice post, thanks for the insight, etc., etc. We need to stay away from those creators. So what I do, I try to scan their past few LinkedIn posts and have an understanding of whether there is an issue with their followers or engagement rates. Again, see it like you won't be able to identify like 100% whether it's a fake or not. But yeah, this will give you a quick glimpse of whether it's a genuine case or not. And then as a second filter, what I do, I won't go for a long-term partnership. Initially, I'll ask the creator to do one post for me just to taste the waters, right? And if it looks good, then we'll form a long-term partnership, because so many creators have been filtered in second step. So that has
Yes.
helped.
So I think you spoke about one good aspect is that every social media platform has a dark side of it, right? So there
Yeah.
are engagement bots, and
Yep.
all those things. What do you think about like a lot of people leverage that when they are starting their journey? So what do you think about that? Like, should people just to build their initial base, should people participate in that or not?
Again, this is an interesting one. I would say stay away, because I have been staying away from it. Despite I have been getting requests from good creators, like because of Supergrow, right? So to be in part of their engagement group. But in the end, I don't want to have say fake followers or engagement for engagement, because here I'm trying to build business, and our sole business is on LinkedIn. So if I were to do it, I won't feel genuine or authentic about it. So I try to stay away from it. For some people it works. So it depends on you. If you are here to build your authentic brand, stay away from it. you'll eventually make a good friends who will engage on your post. No need to be on a engagement pod, right? So that will happen eventually if you are consistent and posting high quality content.
Has there been any time where you felt that okay, this might not work out, and then I have to look for options?
You mean the
In
starting
your
journey?
journey, was there any down point where that you thought, okay, like this might not work out as I hoped it would be, and then I have to look for options?
No, it haven't happened. Yeah, it worked smoothly. I would say I had my backup options. If it didn't worked out, I would have chosen option B and C. But yeah, it worked out really well. And so far, like I haven't thought of going back.
So you have been working with Devin for I think quite some time now, and
Yeah.
you met him on a group, right, virtually in the beginning. How did that relationship start, and like how do you both balance your roles?
Yeah, so it's very clear in our case. So when it comes to product tech finance, they will take care of it. And when it comes to marketing, sales, or success, right, support, I'll be the responsible person. So let's say if we were to try something on marketing side, right? So we discuss a lot, we debate a lot, but then it's my call. Same goes for product, right? It's Devin's call when it comes to product. We debate again. I say, hey, build this out, build those out. But again, it's his call whether to build it or not. So it's clear that product tech Devin, and then marketing side it's me.
When it comes to indie hacking, a lot of people try to go solo. So do you think like having a co-founder is better than doing solo?
Oh yeah, it's so better, man. I would highly recommend everyone to have a co-founder, even though you have all the skills required. But just have a co-founder. It will be a fun journey because when you're building solo or with a small team, you'll feel lonely so many times because you don't have any colleagues, you don't go to office, right? You will feel lonely. So that's where the co-founder really helps. So like we both were fortunate to like met each other. We do this whenever we get bored. We just jump on a call. We do a lot of non-work related talks. It really helps. Yeah.
I think recently I saw your post that you got a small office just to get out of. So, what was the thought process behind that?
After sales and day, when I get into outplay, from there on, I have been working from home. And now it like the time has came, I really felt bored working from home. So like sometimes there are guests coming at home, and then if I am working from home, I'll have to attend the guest, right? And then sometime my wife will say, hey, go and get this, right? So I'll need to do errands as well while working from home.
Right.
So there were a lot of those distractions. Earlier it was fine, but now I felt that I'm getting too distracted. My productivity has decreased. In 25, we want to bang on again. We want to reach like at least 50K in MRR. For that, I need a clear focus. I need like zero distractions when I'm working. So those were the major reasons to rent an office and see how that works out.
Why office and not a co-working space?
So I tried co-working as well. I tried so many co-working spaces. But again, see, if I'm doing this podcast, right, I'll need to have a separate space. My plan is to again create podcast series for Supergrow to interview creators on LinkedIn. Like getting all those reasons combined, office was an ideal decision for me. I tried so many co-working space. Again, I live in an outskirt area of Ahmedabad, right? So we don't have a co-working space near me. So I'll then again have to travel 15-20 kilometers from my home, work from co-working space. So it felt like job, right? I have to commute because
Right.
I don't want to commute. I want to save those hours. So what I did, I just rented an office nearby my home. I can go and save my time.
One final question, and then we will wrap it up. What would be your advice to anyone who wants to build a SaaS product in 2025? Because we are almost at end of this year. So if anyone is starting the journey now, what are the absolute must things that they should do, and what kind of problems they should focus on?
Think about distribution before writing a single line of code. Yeah, that would be my top advice if I have to give to an aspiring SaaS builder. Let's say if you're getting an idea, along with idea, think how we'll go to market, right? What sort of channels you will explore? What are the probably marketing tactics that you will do? What are the growth hacks that you think can be possible? No need to go into detail how you will do, what you will do. Just think on a high level. See 1,000 feet view and see, let's say if I build this product, right? What will be the marketing plan for this product? How will I distribute this product to the audience, right? Because I have seen that building products have now become easier and distribution is getting a lot tougher. Think about distribution before building the product. That would be my single advice. And then obviously those basic advice that build MVP first and then reach out to users, understand what they think and
So if
build on
you
top of
were
it.
to break down like a playbook or steps to, let's say, reach to $500 MRR, what are the activities that you would do?
First, I'll pick an idea, right? Again, there are a lot that goes into picking an idea, but yeah, let's say I have an idea. I'll pick idea. I'll apply this framework where I'll think of the go-to-market channels, right? GTM channels, where and how I'll market this product. Once I have two, three channels, let's say if I'm building an influencer marketing platform, so I'll define what are the major channels that I'll be working on, marketing channels. So for me, it could be, let's say, LinkedIn, because right now I'm bullish on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn could be my first channel for acquiring users. The next step would be I'll do differently if I have to. I'll first go and reach out to brands who are doing influencer marketing. I'll try and talk to them, understand their problems, and then after those conversations, I'll then go and build my first MVP.
So identify like first initial set of users who might be willing to pay and then build or solve their problem.
But yeah, then again there is a different framework as well. Let's say, so this is for something I do not know much, because influencer marketing is something I have been doing for last year or so, right? But let's say if there is some market or some problem that I have been facing or I have been experiencing for like so many years and I know a lot about it, then I'll probably go and build the MVP out first, and
Okay,
then I'll reach out to users.
great. I think super conversation, a lot of insights. Thanks for coming on the show and sharing your journey with us. And wish you all the best for the next year and reaching to 50K MRR goal.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks a lot. It was a fun to be on this pod.